through the gang world, or a lot of guys who weren't even in the gang world that just crossed paths with me, all of them used to say the same thing. Oh, the Vaiusu brothers, they ran, they started being this and they ran being this. But this is just all things that happen, and people didn't really understand. They just spoke about it because they all saw how we were when we were young. BNS originated from my friend who I grew up with. His name was Eddie Singyam, and his brother's name was Joe. Joe was best friends with my brother 212 Heat, and I was best friends with Eddie. We all went to Wilmot Public School in Sydney, Mount Druitt, and we parted ways. Everyone went on with their lives. Yes, appreciate you, bro. And then we caught up again. I don't remember what year. It was like, I think, it was about either 1999 or year 2000. It was I think about 6 years since we had seen each other, yeah? And just like that, we were friends straight away. And a situation happened where my brother and I went to back up my girl cousin, because my girl cousin's a younger islander guy touched her breast, yeah? And she started crying and she called for help. We went down there. My brother and I ended up sorting this guy out, and Joe and Eddie were there. We started hanging out a lot because obviously we were childhood friends. And then a situation happened at Penrith where we all got locked up. And during that process, I was capsicum sprayed, and that was the first time that I'd ever been hit with capsicum spray. Yeah, it burnt my face. Like, guess what? When I got capsicum sprayed, I was like, they wouldn't bring me water to help ease the pain. They just left me like that. And remember, I was a 16-year-old kid, and this is the Penrith police who were treating me like this 16-year-old kid. Yeah, they sprayed me just because one of the boys, he was trying to slide a lighter over to his mate. So I helped him slide it over, and then they thought I was smuggling something. I had nothing on me, but yeah, and then I got hit with capsicum spray. That night, the boys started banging on the wall, and they were all and they were yelling out a BNS, and there was like a beat on the wall. It was pretty cracker, and everyone started like going off and screaming. But I was swearing, but everyone was just going off because I wasn't given water. Eventually, the police came and gave me water, washed off my face, and eased the pain a little bit. But from that moment on, that's where we all decided that us four boys. At the time, I didn't know Joe was NFP. If I had known, I never would have said yes. But I decided to, my brother and I decided to join Eddie Singyam's BNS. You know, so BNS started, but Eddie didn't realize how motivated I was when I get my mind in something. I love is appreciate you guys. And what happened was, as soon as Eddie allowed my brother and I to join BNS, we found out that Joe wasn't BNS. He wasn't following his brother. He was actually in another gang called NFP. And then I was a bit like taken aback, because I was like, far out. I thought it was like the four boys together all the way. I didn't realize that one brother was in another gang. If I had known that, I never would have went with Eddie, you know. But anyway, my brother and I went with Eddie, and then we ended up being BNS Fairfield, and they were BNS Mount Druitt. But as soon as I took those colours on, mate, we were wearing red every day, and we opened up BNS in Macquarie Fields, Campbelltown. Like, mate, there was so many BNS everywhere that the Daily Telegraph put up a it was like a thing where it highlights all the big gangs and what they're known for, yeah, in Sydney. Well, actually in Australia, and I was shocked because BNS was on this list. We were nobodies. We were like little itchays, but it said that there is a core of 10 members and over 100 that follow. So the core of 10 is us 10 guys that stuck together. We were always getting charged for assaults and stuff like that. We were just little shoots running amok, but we were all runaways. Now, fast forward to the Brawl, yeah? We were going down to the city and we had no idea what was going on. Like, we just went down there to go and enjoy New Year's. But if any of you had gone to the bloody Olympics, year 2000, that was like New Year's every single day. So from that hang on guys, let me do this puzzle. So from that Olympics, that was like New Year's every day, BNS just became bigger and bigger and bigger. And we ended up like in pretty much every area, yeah? Even Bankstown had a BNS. Anyway, we're on our way to the city during year 2000 New Year's, and there was a lot of tension between BNS and NFP. NFP were a bit upset that a lot of their boys had started joining BNS, and a lot of their little cousins started joining BNS. But the reason why this was happening was because I was the one, so I was a kid as well, but I was like the head of the group that used to take care of the kids. I ended up having a fallout with Eddie and Joe, my brother and I. Not a fallout as in like we went to war, but a fallout as in like we parted ways, because when we went against NFP, it was like we were going against Eddie's brother Joe, which we weren't. And Eddie chose to go and stand with his brother against us, you know. But there was never any issue between his brother and us. But because he was in that gang, Eddie went and stood with that gang. So now everybody was like, Pete's the head of freaking BNS, and mate, we ran amok. Like we were known as the biggest juvenile gang in Australia. That's how big BNS got, yeah. And and when we went to the city that night, we didn't know NFP was there. We were just going to enjoy ourselves. But as soon as we got there, long story short, NFP's, it was like a setup, because we got told that we had to go meet someone down there, yeah? Two girls that was with us told us, hey, we got to go down there and meet so-and-so, like the other people that we know from Macquarie Fields. And so a lot of our other BNS boys from Macquarie Fields, they were coming from a different section, and we were coming from Town Hall area. So we were all supposed to meet up, and then we were supposed to meet the other boys. And there was a lot of us. There was like, friggin', I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating, like 30 to 50 that laneway, yeah? And when we got down there, the spot that we were told to meet these other guys was the spot that NFP were at. So it was like a setup. It's like those two girls had set us up by telling us to go down there. And the big tension was like everyone kept saying, oh, bro, FBNS, or let's go to war with them. Don't let them come back to Mount Druitt. But the thing is, I grew up in Mount Druitt, and so all my cousins from Mount Druitt, and a lot of people were scared of my cousins because my cousins could fight. They were all known boxers and street fighters in Mount Druitt. So that's the reason why a lot of older boys were too scared to touch me, is because of my older cousins, yeah. Now we walked down there, all of NFP were there. They were all dressed in blue. We were all dressed in red. They were Crips. We were Bloods. And as soon as we saw each other, like, wait, I looked at them and they were looking at us. And then I was like, what are you looking at? I'm like, what? I got the F he's looking at. And in my head, we got set up because there were so many of them everywhere. There was heaps of them, you know? And I was like, bro, what the hell? So pretty much it was even numbers. But you couldn't really tell who had the numbers because there was so much blue and so much red there. And then as I was bridging up, saying to them, what, he's got an issue? And they all stood up and walked towards us. We walked towards them. And it was just all Islander kids, yes? And like 100 kids getting ready to brawl. But as we got close to each other, like everyone was just like death staring each other, getting ready to fight. Out of nowhere, I swear, this guy, he was like probably 25 or 30 years old. He steps in the middle, in between all of us, yeah? He gets in my face and he's like, what, Ken? What, huh? What, you want to F with us? And I was thinking, bro, you're like friggin' an old man, 25, 30 years old, and you're bridging up to me. I'm like a 16-year-old kid. As he was in my face bridging up, one of my boys' older brother, Joe's older brother, stepped in front of me and then got in his face and said to him, "Oi, why are you trying to pick on little kids?" Them two started like facing off with each other, and then the other guy king hit Joe's brother, and then as soon as he did that, it was on. Everyone just attacking each other. Like punches were coming from everywhere. There were so many people punching on that day, and like remember, it's New Year's, so it was packed, and it was in front of Seagull. And back then there was a under 18s club called Crush, yeah. And when the fight broke out, I probably had about 5 guys. I was just hitting, drop, and all I could hear in the back of my ear was, "Come on, pick up, let's go, pick up." And every time I look at them, they'd be jumping back and forth. But then the smallest one out of them, when I king hit one, the smallest guy out of them jumped on my back. And I was trying to get him up. I was trying to rip him off because he's like a little monkey. He just held on, yeah. And I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get this kid off me because otherwise I'll get attacked." I looked across, and my brother was fighting about 3 or 4 guys. They all ended up on the ground. They were wrestling on the ground. And so I was thinking, shit, I got to get to my brother and help my brother. I turned around, and remember the big guy that got in my face? He was fighting 3 of my guys. So it was like 3 of my guys versus 1. Ended up 2 of my guys who was involved trying to fight him, they got dropped from that big guy. And then it was Tufi from Bankstown who was fighting the big guy. So Tufi was 16 years old, fighting like a 25-year-old, yeah. My 2 guys who got dropped, they were punching on. Ended up inside the if you've been to the city in front of the old Seagull, there's water there, yeah. Our guys ended up in the water, and everyone was punching on in the water. So there was fights going on in the water, fights going on the left side of Darling Harbour, fights going on the right side of Darling Harbour, and I was freaking still brawling on the other side, trying to get to my brother. Yeah. As soon as I got towards my brother, I jumped over him and the guys that he was wrestling with, and I accidentally kicked the guy in the side of the head, and he got laid out. Yeah. And when I jumped over him, I just started attacking the NFP guys that were trying to jump my brother. All right. As I started throwing punches, they're all running back. That I kicked by accident. I didn't realize he was a security guard. So he was trying to help my brother, because my brother was like had reefed 2 of them down. And so they were all on the ground. He was trying to rip the other 2 guys off my brother. So my brother was trying to fight from the bottom while the other 2 guys were on top of him. And the security guys trying to help him. And I've jumped over the security guard and accidentally hit him and kicked him, and I knocked him out. While I was freaking fighting these other guys, chasing them down, king hitting them, I kept turning around looking, and every time I hit someone, they would fall. But it wasn't because I was a good fighter. It was because when I ran at them, they weren't looking at me, so I was cheap-shotting them from the side, yeah? And then drop. And then I got king hit from the side, and I was like, as soon as I got king hit from the side, I buckled to the left, and then I looked. As I looked, for those of you who don't know, I did martial arts when I was growing up. My brother and I, Wing Chun style. So I was very good at karate, at martial arts, yeah? And I ended up, the guy who king hit me, I walked towards him and I shaped up, and I ended up tripping him, and he went legs up and he hit the ground hard on the back of his head. And when he hit the ground, I put one straight on his chin with my foot, and then I went to run. As I went to run, I got spear tackled to the ground. I tried to get up, I elbowed him in the face, then I got spear tackled onto the ground again. As I looked up, all I could hear was, "Stay on the ground, it's the police." That's when I realized, like, oh, bro, I was hitting police. I wasn't hitting freaking NFP. I didn't realize, because NFP has like some different nationalities with them, you know. And at the time, it was just supposed to be what's called Islanders versus Islanders, but they had a few boys that were different nationals. And I swear to you, like I was like in the horrors, because I didn't mean to hit police officers, but the thing was, none of them had said they were police, you know. So I was just king hitting anyone they got next to me or next to my brother. I was going to town on them, you know. And when I was on the ground, they were trying to handcuff me. I looked up, everyone was still brawling. Yeah, the fight was, it just couldn't be stopped. Like the whole of Sydney Harbour got turned into a big semicircle, like from everyone that was there to watch the fireworks, and everyone ended up watching us instead of waiting for the fireworks. Everyone that was walking towards Darling Harbour to get ready for the fireworks, they all gave up and they're like, you know what? Let's watch this fight. This fight's better. As I was handcuffed and looking up and seeing the brawl going on, somehow the Lebanese got involved. And the Lebanese started attacking the Islander boys. And I was like, well, what's going on here? They stood me up. And as they were walking me, the police were walking me, I looked. And you remember all the boys that were fighting in the water? Remember, some of them were NFP, some of them were BNS. They were all now trying to swim to get out of the water. They were freaking like drenched in, their clothes were full drenched. And as they crawled out of the water, they were all looking at each other and they were like, couldn't be bothered fighting because everyone was tired from fighting. I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating when I say everyone was swinging punches for a good 8 to 10 minutes. It was like swing a punch and run, swing a punch and run. The only positive thing I could say about this fight that night is not one person brought a weapon. Everyone used their fists, you know, like it was just a good, solid, all-in brawl, you know, like we ended up having the best of it only because the Lebanese boys got involved. And when the Lebanese boys got involved, they attacked more of the NFP boys. They didn't really attack our guys, you know, and so much it was like Bloods Never Surrender and the Lebanese boys against NFP. So that's the reason why a lot of them got hurt that night, you know. And when I say hurt, I just mean like they got dropped or they got black eyes, stuff like that. The funniest thing is I got taken to the police station, and when I walked past, still there was boys fighting, boys that I know and from both sides. Got to the police station, they charged me with assault, and I'm pretty sure it was a girl, a friend of mine named Jenny who got me bail that morning, yeah. And then I ended up going to the train station and catching a train home. Now, I get home and I'm trying to look for all the boys. Because I'm like, bro, I'm the only one that got arrested. Out of everyone that was brawling that night, I was the only one that got arrested, yeah? So I was like, where is everyone? Where's all the boys? No one could be found. So I went home to my parents. Then everyone starts calling me 2 days later. Goes, bro, like, this is what happened. This is what happened. I was like, all right, everyone catch up. Let's talk about it. I found out, yeah, on the night of the brawl, there was red bandanas and blue bandanas, yeah, and we're all going at it. Now, one of my mates during the brawl, he's a good fighter, yeah, Jimmy Sa. He was like just attacking, going hard. Him and my brother 2 and 2 Heat were going hard, attacking them, yeah. But Jimmy had hit one of the Lebo boys by accident because anyone that got near us, like we were just attacking them, yeah. And when Jimmy got one of the young Lebanese boys who was the same age as us, this young kid ran to his people, like the other Lebanese boys. And mind you, the other Lebanese boys, not only did they have numbers, but they also had older boys with them. So everyone that was fighting that night, we were all 16 years old, yeah? Like 16, 17. I don't even think one person was over 18 except that that older guy that got in my face and my boy Joe's older brother. Those are the two that were that were over 18, but they didn't get involved in the brawl. It was just those two punches, and then pretty much the boys were jumping one of the other older guys. But the Lebanese boys, there was a few young boys, but the rest of them were older boys, yeah? Now listen to this. I said to the boys, hey, you know when I was getting walked past, the Lebanese boys were attacking all the NFP boys hard out. And the boys all cracked up laughing. I go, what are you laughing at? And they go, Uzo, you know when Jimmy and your brother 2 and 2 Heat were going hard? And I was like, yeah. He goes, Uzo, Jimmy accidentally king hit one of the Lebanese guys, yeah? And when he hit the Lebanese guy, he ran off and got all his boys or all his cousins or whatever, and they came over. And when they came over, the Lebanese older boys, they looked at at Jimmy and all the boys, and they're like, who the F hit my cousin like that? Huh? Who the F hit my cousin? And Jimmy, being Jimmy, he turned around and he goes, blue. This is the reason why the Lebanese boys attacked NFP. It's because Jimmy goes blue. And so, I mean, Jimmy's the one that hit them. And then when they came over to see who the hell effed with their family member, Jimmy said blue. So they turned around. Poor NFP, like they were thinking that they only had to take us on, and then poor NFP was standing there like keeping their guards up against us, and then out of nowhere the Lebanese started attacking them as well, bro. And you know what? All I can say from that brawl that day is like it was honestly just a good solid brawl. You know, everyone just used their fists. No one got hurt, and it was a good laugh for many years to come. And it was all shut down after that brawl. It was talked about for years, like it was some big war, but it wasn't a war. It was just little kids going at it. But yeah, it was something that has never been forgotten. Especially the boys that ended up in the water. Those guys fighting in the water. It was like a movie. and yeah, the joke of it all is how Jimmy Sarr told the Lebanese boys blue attacked them, and then the Lebanese boys attacked the NFP boys. So yeah, for all of you who kept asking me to tell this story, in short, that there was a lot more that happened, but in short, that's exactly how the brawl went. And I got charged with not only assault but affray, and I got charged for assaulting 2 security guards and 2 police officers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 2 security guards and 2 police officers. And I remember when I went to court. Remember, I'm a little kid. These guys are all grown men. One of them turned up in a neck brace, and I was like, neck brace? Look at this bloke. He's trying to get compensation claim 100%. Now remember, when I got to court, I'm just a little kid, so I'm just going to tell my truth. You know, I got nothing to hide. And so when the judge questioned me that day, because it was judge alone, there was no jury here, and the security guard that was there was walking with his neck brace, and the cop was walking with a limp, and they were saying, oh, they can't work anymore because of what I did to them. I was like, bro, I'm freaking 16 years old. What do you mean you can't work no more? You're acting like a grown man knocked you out. You know, it was just me. And and the old guy who I kicked by accident, he was there as well, but he was the only one who didn't play the injury card. You know, he came as he was, and he said it how it was. Like, I seen a guy try to jump over me, and his leg whacked my face, and then he goes, all I saw was dark. You know. So he told the truth. Anyway, when the judge put me up on stand, she started asking me questions about the brawl. And man, you know, God bless this judge for realizing that I was a young kid and I don't understand the legal system. So she actually guided me through it and explained to me thoroughly why I was charged and how I should defend myself, yeah? So she asked me specific questions like, when you were fighting that night, you were fighting against what color? And I said, blue. And she goes, okay. Now, when you jumped over your brother to go at the guys who were trying to jump him, did you see anyone? And I was like, nah. She goes, did you feel yourself hit anyone? And I said, oh, I felt my foot accidentally hit something, but I didn't see anyone, you know, like I just jumped over them. I kind of tripped, and then I just attacked about 4 or 5 guys. And she was like, okay, let's play the footage. So they played the footage of the brawl, and it's framed. So it's like, and all you see is me running frame by frame, yeah? And it just shows me jumping over the security. And I actually told the truth. Like, it shows me jumping over him and accidentally kicking him. And then it shows like 4 or 5 NFP boys standing there as I jumped over him. And then I just started attacking them, yeah? And the poor bloke ended up on the ground. He was laid out. So the judge deemed it an accident. So that charge got dropped, all right? And then it showed all the other officers, 2 police officers and the other security guard, how he king hit me from the side. I didn't cheap shot, he cheap shotted me, and then I defended myself. He ended up cracking his head on the ground, yeah? So when the judge realized, yeah, I was facing them when I assaulted them, but there's got to be a reason why this kid did this. So very kindly, she asked me the question so I could help defend myself. And she goes, all right, explain to me something. Why did you trip over this security guard? And I said, well, when he king hit me, I was dazed, so I just went at it and chipped him. I just thought he was with NFP. And she's like, all right then. So you thought he was a part of the other gang, right? And I said, yeah. Did he say anything to you? And I said, no. Okay, he just king hit me from the side and I defended myself. And she was like, all right, done. She goes, let's move on to the 2 police officers. So she asked me about the 2 police officers. Why did you king hit him and why did you kick him? I explained the same thing. They attacked me and I was just defending myself. Now, she asked this question several times. I didn't understand why. Yeah? She kept asking me, did they say anything to you? And I was like, nah. She goes, did you hear anything? And I was like, nah. She goes, so basically you were just fighting to defend yourself. And I was like, yeah. And guess what this judge did? She found me not guilty, yeah, on all the charges because both security guards didn't identify themselves as security and both police officers didn't identify themselves as police when they tried to attack me. So therefore, when a brawl is breaking out and I'm heavily involved in it, like I have every right to defend myself from whoever it is. Judge dropped all the charges and pretty much I went home that day. So, you know, food for thought. But yeah, big respects to that judge that day for guiding me through court because I had no idea what I was doing and I was looking at least 1 year if I got found guilty for all those assaults. Love ya, appreciate you. All right, again, guys, tap it up. The next story is coming. Tap, 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 tap. Heart me, whatever that is. And I got goals up there. If you can help me reach these goals, love ya. And let's move on to the next story. Come on, guys. Tap it up, mate. Let me hit those likes. See those likes go up. All right. This next story, I didn't really want to tell this story because at the moment, I'm holding off on the big stories, yeah, because it's going to be a podcast that I'm putting together and the big stories is going to be on YouTube. Now, for those of you who know YouTube, that's the platform to put your heavy stuff. So, hey, Natsia, Len, appreciate you. Thank you very much, guys. It's gifting. I love yous. And thank you to everyone that is tapping and helping these likes get up there. Pump it, pump it. All right. So, the reason why I tried to stay away from the heavy stories is obviously because I want to put it on YouTube. But I also want to tell it properly, all right? Abuzar Sultani has a massive story. Like, mate, I couldn't even tell one of his stories in one live. So I thought to myself, you know what? This guy's been involved in so much that I'm just going to save it for YouTube. But this is the one story that I can tell, which is short. And it's something that everybody knows about, the fight between them two. Same thing as Farhad Qaumi, very big name in the underworld because him, his brothers, his crew, they went hard. And when I say hard, they did real gangbanger stuff, yeah? And these two, being two heavyweights in the underworld, they actually went head-to-head outside of prison. So when they went inside prison, peace was called. So let me get to it. Both of these boys, Abuzar Sultani and Farhad Qaumi, Abuzar Sultani, sorry, and Farhad Qaumi are both Afghan boys. All right, both with big names. Abuzar is never to be released. Farhad Qaumi, I don't know how he got a release date, but last I heard he had about 40 years, but he's got a release date, you know, and he was in and amongst big things, you know, and his crew didn't hesitate. One thing about these Afghan boys, you know, they're the real deal. These Afghan boys, they go on with it, you know, not to be effed with whatsoever in the underworld. Now, when Abuzar and Farhad Qaumi bumped into each other at Silverwater segregation, remember, they had dramas on the outside. So dramas on the outside is something that is not taken lightly on the inside. As soon as you see your opposition or as soon as you see your enemy, mate, it's on. But remember, when it comes to the Middle Eastern community, Lebanese have the numbers, yeah? They have the numbers, and they are also the ones that pretty much run the show when it comes to Middle Eastern boys, yeah? Because you got Assyrians, you got the Afghans, Iraqis, like you got all these different nationalities when I say Middle Eastern boys, but the Lebanese are the ones that have the numbers, all right? But obviously, like the Afghan boys, the Assyrian boys, they're very strong, but they don't have the numbers. So when Abuzar Sultani and Farhad Qaumi met at Segro, Silverwater, the first thing that happened was Farhad yelled out to him and said, bro, what happened outside happened. Like, it is what it is, but we need to call peace while we're here in prison because we're both Afghans and we need to stick together. You know, like at the end of the day, the Lebanese boys have the power, and yeah, we don't have any issues with them, but it's better for us to stand together because we know that we will never turn on each other. Abuzar, being the soft-hearted bloke he is, gave in and said, yeah, all right, sweet. Yeah. Farhad Qaumi also said the same thing to other Afghan boys such as Sierra Mujazara. And pretty much what Farhad did was he was calling peace between all the Afghan boys that had issues with each other. All right. And Farhad is known in the underworld for someone that goes on with it. Like, he's not known to be a fighter. He's not known to to be a businessman, but he's known to get what he wants. So if he wants your company, he's gonna get your company. If he wants to get ya, he's gonna come and get ya. This is what Farhad Qaumi is known for. He doesn't take a backward step, and same as Abuzar Sultani. But the difference between them two is Abuzar Sultani, he was a businessman. He was a university student who was very smart. He's got qualifications under his belt. So it's two very different people, but two people who had big reputations, but also two guys that wouldn't take a backward step no matter who you are. Obviously, you all know that because Farhad Qaumi's boys, Blacktown BFL, ended up taking on Bass Hemsey's cousins who were from Bankstown BFL. That is a story to be told another time. This story right here is about those boys. Now, everyone has seen the footage, yeah? And obviously the footage shows Farhad Qaumi being unhandcuffed, just like Bass was when when him and one of the Bloodline boys were supposed to mix. The Bloodline guy, cuffs came off, and then Bass went to take his one off, and then he got attacked. So the same thing happened on this day, yeah? Farhad Qaumi's cuffs came off first, and then when Abuzar went to get his handcuffs off, that's when the attack happened. Now let me explain something. Before I get to the fight, yeah? Let me tell you something. Big, massive rumors went on for years about this fight, yeah? Now, I was out in the main. I wasn't in Supermax at the time. Remember, I just finished 7 years of prison. For those of you who don't know, I just finished 7 years of prison. I've only been out for 4 months now. Now, Abuzar Sultani, being the person he is, like, very kind-hearted, he put in an association form, accepted. Association forms means you can mix with another person. So he signed it, Farhad Qaumi signed it. Intel looked over it, Intel approved it, and that's the reason why they were allowed to mix, and then that drama broke out. But let me tell you something. Before I get to this fight, yeah, there was big rumors, and the big rumors made Abuzar look like this, yeah, very, very small. Remember, Abuzar Sultani's got a massive name because he was a hitman, all right, and he was no puppet for anyone. Jobs, like he did them for himself, you know, and if he wasn't doing it for himself, he was doing it for his crew, but his crew backed him up all the way. Now for that, him and a few of his co-offenders are doing life. A few of his other co-offenders have gotten out, but they served long sentences. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about his co-es right now. This is rumor that I'm about to explain to you guys was so massive that everyone thought Sultani got axed during this fight. All right. When I heard this rumor, it said that Abuzar was handcuffed. Farhad Qaumi attacked him, stomped all over his head, and Abuzar was bleeding from everywhere. This was the rumor I heard. Yeah. Every prison I went to and everyone on the outside that I knew who knew Abuzar, or what's called people that knew Abs, were all talking about the same rumor. Like, bro, this is what happened. And so I immediately assumed that's what happened. You know, like he got axed. And this is what happens. All jail rumors was all jail rubbish. You know what I mean? Like nothing like that happened. So this is how I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it properly to you guys so you understand it. For years, and when I say years, for years, this drama, was happening not only between them two, but between all their boys now. Now everyone was getting involved, and everyone was looking for someone to chop. And all I knew was Farhad Qaumi chopped Abuzar. Simple as that. And Abuzar had blood all over it. Yeah. Then the Screws released the footage to the media, and then the media played it for everyone to see. And wow, talk about shit talking. All those rumors that went on for all those years, and then when I saw the footage, I was like, it was like nowhere near what was said. Like, it was so stupid how I could like believe something like that. Like, I know it's prison and I know there's a lot of shit talkers, but because it was coming from other underworld heavies, I assumed it was true, because all these guys that was talking about it are all people that have big names, all people that all of you guys know. Yeah, they were talking about this as if Abs got axed, you know. And then on top of that, the Shia, a lot of people were laughing at his expense, you know, that he got chopped. But then the footage come out. All right, let's talk about the footage. All right, Abuzar walks over, he puts his hands through the bar. Farhad Qaumi puts his hands through the bar, and his cuffs get taken off. He walks backwards. Abuzar walks over and he goes to put his hands through the bar, and as the officer went to unlock it, Farhad Qaumi walks over and bang, he hit him. But what nobody saw is that he had a shiv in his hand. Yeah. Now, when I was with Abs in Supermax, he actually showed me the scar. It's right on top of his head. So that's where Farhad Qaumi had hit him with the shiv. All right. Now, if you watch the video footage, remember guys, when I tell this story on YouTube, you're going to see the footage, you're going to see everything done properly and professionally, yeah? Right now, I'm just explaining it because everyone keeps doing my head in, like, tell a Farhad Qaumi story, tell a Abuzar story. So I'm going to tell this story. Why? Because these were two guys that called peace, and then as soon as they saw each other, it was on. This is a story that the younger generation and young adults need to know about, because you all think that it's fun and games until you go head to head inside prison. Now, when Farhad Qaumi was going to town on Abuzar, you see Abuzar start throwing kicks at him, yeah? Now, what nobody knows is when Abuzar starts throwing kicks, Farhad Qaumi is still abbing stay him, yeah? So he'll throw kicks and he'll keep attacking. And it was going back and forth because Abuzar was trying to defend himself, but he was also trying to get to the officer to take his handcuffs off. So if you see in the footage, Abuzar like runs back and tries to get his handcuffs off, and the officer was trying to quickly do it, but every time he goes to do it, Farhad Qaumi would run forward and try to abstain him, yeah? Now, you guys can't hear audio on that footage, all right? But everyone that was there that day, when the fight happened, they could all hear Farhad Qaumi saying, no kicks, no kicks, no kicks. So, this is the thing that got me. I was like, hang on a sec. Farhad's the one with the Ibshay. Abuzar is handcuffed, trying to kick him so he could defend himself. But Farhad is saying to him, no kicks during this fight. That made me laugh, you know. I was like, what? Look, you know, he was yelling out, no kicks, no kicks. And I was like, what the hell? Anyway, to cut a long story short, the fight, when you watch it, it's on YouTube. When I play it up on the TV and do it properly, I'm gonna explain it as the fight goes slowly, yeah. But yeah, these are two big heavy names, and this was a fight that was told as if like what's called, it was a war that was inevitable, you know, and Farhad Qaumi came out on top. Let me tell you something. Farhad Qaumi didn't come out on top. Abuzar didn't come out on top. But Farhad Qaumi did make himself look stupid by yelling out no kicks. But also, if you're gonna attack someone with an Ibshay while they're handcuffed, you gotta make sure you do a good job. Now, let's go over to the fight with Bas Hemzi and the bloodline brother Lofi, yeah? You see what happened there. Bas Hemzi was handcuffed. He was trying to throw kicks to defend himself. But Lofi, being a soldier he is for bloodline, he finished the job, all right? Even when Bas Hemzi, he allowed Bas Hemzi to get his handcuffs taken off, like the squad member told me that day, the worst thing Bas Hemzi could have done was ask for his handcuffs to be taken off, because he ended up worse off from when he got stabbed, you know? So that's what you call doing the job and doing it right. So Lofi did what he did and he finished the job. If you guys haven't seen the footage, Bas Hemzi, and if you guys don't know these names, Bas Hemzi is one of the biggest names in Australia for underworld figures. And Lofi is not known as an underworld figure. He's just known as a frontline soldier for the Bloodline Boys. And long story short, he laid out Bas Hemzi, and when I say laid out, he was literally knocked out. So have a look at that compared to what happened with Farhad Qaumi and Abuzar. All right, Farhad Qaumi had an opportunity to lay Abuzar out, but the only thing that won from that fight was the rumors, because the rumors made out like Abuzar Sultani got axed. And when I watched that footage, I was like, say swear I believed all that freaking rubbish from when I was in the main, you know? Look, I'm not trying to belittle Farhad Qaumi or Abuzar. I'm just telling the story as it is, yeah? Farhad Qaumi is a ruthless man, and he did do what he always does. You know, he attacks. He doesn't care whether he wins or loses. He just does what needs to be done, you know? But Abuzar did not get axed. Abuzar defended himself, and he made himself look so good because of what Farhad Qaumi said when he was yelling out, no kicks, no kicks. So, you know, for those of you guys who haven't heard the audio, that's exactly what was said that day, you know. And Abuzar had no blood on him all over his face. He did get abscessed in the head. He showed that to me himself. But all these rumors about blood pissing out of his head or out of his face, and Farhad Qaumi went to town on him and axed him, that's not what happened. But Farhad Qaumi did have a goal, and as everybody knows, like, Farhad Qaumi is Farhad Qaumi. He does not care who you are. Like, he'll just do what needs to be done, you know. And he tried that day to lay Abuzar out, but yeah, it was unlucky. Abuzar didn't get laid out. he actually did a good job defending himself. And that's all I got to say about that fight. Now that you guys all know the audio part of things and how it started and how it went down, I'm going to leave it to you guys to make up your own mind when you watch the footage yourself. But that's exactly what happened. Right? All right. Let's finish it off with this last story. Look, everyone keeps telling me to freaking do these battles. I didn't really like the battles when it first started, but people keep telling me I should do it so I can get used to it because I'll like it. Look, I had fun doing the battles that night, but I just said to myself, bro, it has to be a one-off, bro. I can't do this freaking battle stuff. Like, I see these people battling on a daily basis, and I'm like, bro, how do you do it? Like, you know, I give props to all of them for doing it, but wow, they're ruthless, bro, doing that shit all the time. You know what I might do, but is battle for my birthday. So I'll just battle whoever on my birthday. We'll see what happens. But yeah, before I move on to the final story, again, guys, we're on 440,000 likes. Wow, I love yous and I appreciate yous. Please tap it up, help these likes get up there. Like I said to you guys, the more the likes get up there, the more TikTok will open my story out to the world. And my story needs to reach the masses so that the younger generation and young adults learn from it. And also to all the younger generation that walked over to me and asked for photos and stuff like that in the last 3 weeks. I appreciate you guys, and like I said, I'm the one that put my silly head on show on TikTok, and I'm the idiot that chose to go down this path, but I did it with the hope that the younger generation learn from it. So when people confront me, it's very embarrassing to me, but I give them what they want because I'm the fool that got on here and put myself on show. But like I said, I did it all with the hope that the younger generation learn from it. All right, come on, guys. Tap it up. Help these likes pump up. And also, I got goals there. And if you can help the goals, help me reach those goals, that'll be greatly appreciated as well. 1 cent. Yeah, boy. All right. Robbie Shanks and myself. Now, this fight, it's something that I didn't want to talk about. What's cool? Obviously, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Love you. Obviously, I didn't want to talk about this because it's something that's sorted. There's peace there now. But the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because of the consequences. A lot of you younger generations out there, love you, Emma, appreciate you. A younger generation out there, you don't understand. You know, when you guys are smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, you guys, love you, Emma, you guys are polluting yourself, yeah, with this stuff. And you're thinking, yeah, I'm just doing it because I'm having fun. It's my mate's birthday. Oh yeah, I'm just doing it because I want to be a part of the team. I want to be a part of the hype. But you're not understanding when you're in that, when you're polluting your insides, you're going to be in a state of mind where you don't know what you're doing, yeah? And that's what happened to Robbie Shanks. So Robbie Shanks got into a car and he was, there was so much Ugdrays inside his system. I'm telling you this because this is what he told me, yeah? There was different Ugdrays in his system, yeah? And all this stuff had boiled up and it sent him into a place where, appreciate you, thank you very much, guys, love yous. It got into a place where like he didn't understand what he was doing. Got into a car and he drove and he accidentally hit a kid, yeah? And God bless that kid and their family. I'm not going to bring up the names, but this kid passed away and Shanks ended up, Robbie Shanks ended up in prison. He ended up with myself in the remand yard at Goulburn. Now, what happened was he came to the remand yard because the Muslim boys in the Muslim yard were sick and tired of him, like because he takes too much Ugdrays and he was putting the out on show. Like I told you guys, in the Muslim yard at Goulburn prison, they put the religion before gang rubbish, you know. So no one was allowed to take Ugdrays in the yard. No one was allowed to sell OJs in the yard. Anything that they wanted to do, such as this, it had to be done discreetly behind boys' backs, because the main guys who were running religious stuff inside that yard, these guys were the ones that didn't allow this to happen. And if this stuff happened in the yard, they were lashed. All right. So when I say lashed, they had whatever they had in their hand. The guys had to turn their back and bah, bah. That's how it happened, you know. Anyway, Rabi Shanks ended up in the remand yard. I didn't understand why, but I found out when he came there, he was saying to me, "But I don't know why they're trying to get me to change my life." He goes, "Bro, I listen to my family. I don't listen to them. And like when I want to change my life, I'll change my life." He goes, "Far out. Like these guys doing my head in. I just want to do my time my own way, and they're trying to tell me how to live my life." He goes, "I don't even listen to anyone, and then these guys are trying to tell me what to do." This is what Rabi was saying when he was with me, you know. And I didn't care. I was like, "Bro, you're here now. Kick back with us. Relax. You can do whatever you want. It's none of my business what you do, you know." So yeah, he came into the yard, did his thing. Then he started stepping on a few toes. Like the Kuri boys started getting upset at him because he was like sort of standing over other Kuri boys who had drugs. But the only reason why they didn't do anything to Rabi Shanks was because he ate on my table. There was a few of us. I think there was about 7 or 8 of us, and it was just all Islanders and Lebos. And we all ate together on the same table. Now, fast forward to the fight. Rabi owed me money for about a month, yeah? I kept telling him, like, where's my money? And he kept playing games. And then I had an argument with him because he started belittling a lot of the Muslim boys in the Muslim yard. All right? And I got the shits because I'm friends with a lot of those Muslim boys. So I turned to him and I said to him, "Bro, if you got something to say about your Muslim brothers, go over there and say it. I go, every day I hear you talk to them, you're like salams, and you start like showing them love and respect. But when you're with me, you're belittling them, you know. All right, if you got something to say, go say it to their face." I was like, nah, it's not like that. He goes, "Bro, I was just sick and tired of this and that." And he goes, "That's the only reason why." So that argument caused tension because when I went off with him, pretty much the Muslim boys found out that I went off with him, and they asked me, "Oh, is everything all good over there? We don't want you getting into dramas with the Muslim boys, you know, like we all get along with you, Pete, you know." And I said, "Yeah, nah, okay, bro. There's 2 Muslim bloodline boys in here. It's not an issue." I go, "It's just I went off at Shanks because of this." So the tension started from there, and then he owed me money, and then the tension started building up. And when I bumped into him that day, I said to him, "Bro, if my money's not in by the end of the day, you better get ready." And he goes, "Get ready for what?" I said, "You know what." I said, "Make sure my money's in that account by the end of the day." The whole day went on and nothing went in. And then when it was like, I think it was about 15 minutes before muster, meaning like we're going to get locked in, I thought, F this. So Rabi was on the phone. He gets off the phone and then he walks. When he walks towards me, I think he thought that I was going to shake his hand to say goodnight because everyone was shaking hands to say goodnight. But when he walked over to me, I just king hit him. And as soon as I king hit him, he dropped, all right? And then when he dropped on the ground, he's like, "Bro, what the F?" like that. And he was trying to get up. As he tried to get up, I rushed him again, and he ended up on the ground again. When he ended up on the ground, I hit him pretty hard. And when I hit him, his teeth came out, yeah? And I didn't know his teeth had come out. I was just hitting him because I was upset. And then one of the Aussie boys named Josh Dan Duke, he picked up his teeth, you know? And Rabi was getting up, he was upset, and then Josh went over and gave him his teeth because, "Bro, your teeth fell out." And I didn't know at the time that I had broken his teeth. Yeah, I was just upset and I wanted my money back. And because Rabi's tall and he's got a good name inside prison, I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to do what needs to be done. I don't care who you are. So after I had clocked him and given him a hiding, I said to him, you know that money you owe me, I don't want it anymore. Keep it. from now on, you're not eating on my table anymore. And I said, and we no longer have a relationship. You do your thing, I'll do my thing, and get out of the yard. Rabi just, he grabbed his teeth and then he walked away from me. So that was it. It was just like a 2-second thing. I asked him and it was over. Moving along during the day, I thought it was all finished, done and dusted. And because he had come back and apologized, because he knew he was in the wrong, he apologized. And I just said, bro, it's all good, but please don't talk to me. I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. It's all good. I forgive you, but that's it. Don't talk to me. Go away. And I left it at that. He was holding a grudge the whole day, and as soon as they called Mustard to get locked in, everyone was lining up. He was looking at me, and then he started walking towards me, and I said, bro, what are you looking at? And he goes, what? I said, what are you looking at? And he goes, what? I realized at that moment he was still upset. So I said to him, Shanks, do you want a one-on-one again? And he goes, yeah. And I said, you want a one-on-one again? He goes, yeah, I do. And mind you, we're about to get locked in the cell, yeah? So I'm like, all right, let's go then. So I stepped backwards under the awning. Under the awning, there's no cameras, so you can fight and no one will get charged. So I stepped under the awning, and then he took off his jacket, and we both shaped up. As we both shaped up, he threw a jab, and I threw a left hook and clocked him, and he fell to the side. As he fell to the side, I ran up towards him and uppercut him, and then he fell backwards on the wall. I stepped back, and then he goes, again. All right, come back under the awning. He comes back under the awning. We're shaping up again. As we're shaping up again, he throws the jab. Again, I clocked him. He goes backwards and he hits the table. And then he goes again. I was thinking, bro, what the hell? This guy's got balls, bro. You know what? I'm not even going to talk rubbish about Rabi because, bro, he goes on with it. He doesn't give up. You know, he doesn't take a backward step. The more I put it on Rabi Shanks, the more he wanted it. You know, it's like every time I would drop him, he'd get up and he's like, again. You know, every time I would clock him a good hit and he buckle, I would step back and he's like, again. And I was like, it's like a freaking fighting Superman. This guy doesn't give up, you know. I said, what the hell? Anyway, on the third one, as I stepped forward, for some reason, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I said to him, hit me. And then he just went crack. As he cracked me, I went like that and I looked at him and I said, is that all you got? But the truth is, I saw 4 of him. He hit me that hard on the chin that I saw 4 of him. But I was trying to look like it didn't hurt because he clocked me straight in the chin, you know. And then when I went backwards and I looked at him, I saw 4 of him. And I was like, is that all you got? I go, huh? My mom hits harder than that. And then again, I attacked him and he fell on the ground. And then I walked back. On the third time that I attacked him and he fell on the ground, I looked up and the officer who holds the firearms towards us at the end of the day to make sure that we go to our cell, he was watching the fight the whole time, the officer. So, but he let it go because it was a one-on-one, so he didn't really care. There was no shivs or nothing. It was just a good solid one-on-one, you know. And yeah, like I was thinking, bro, what the hell was I thinking saying to him, hit me? Who do you think you are? Freaking Terminator or something? He hit me so hard, I was like, ding, 4 people in front of me. I was like, and then lucky for me, like he was also tired from fighting. So I got the better of him that day. But honestly, I can honestly say, like, the man's a soldier, you know. He doesn't give up. If you're gonna go to war with someone, you need a Rabi next to you because you know you got all these blokes who are saying they're hard guys. I said, but when it comes to war, they all buckle. I swear, they were. You remember that that story I told about Leonard, who's a Syrian in the gang last hour when he attacked Adnan Darwish, when he abstained him all over the head and all that. So let me explain something. When the gas got shot, it was headed towards them and it went under the gate. and it went towards a lot of the OC guys that were there watching, because they were in the island yard. And guess what happened? I was watching from up the top the fight, yeah, and it was something that I teased them about a lot, because the gas went under the fence and went towards them, and they all ran. They legged it as soon as they saw the gas. And this is why I always say, you know, like, if you're gonna start something with the screws and the gas gets hit and you get run, I'm gonna lay you out, because I know I'm gonna stand there and do my best to fight. But yous are the ones that are starting it, and yous are the ones who are running to the water tap, trying to get water in your face so you can get the stinging off your face, you know what I mean? And so that thing with Rabi, this bloke was like Terminator. He wouldn't give up. So I said to myself, and I said it to the boys, go, honestly, if you're gonna have a gang and you're gonna try to take over the prisons, you need a Rabi Shanks with you, because this bloke, he's just cuckoo, bro. He just keeps walking forward like Terminator. The more you drop him, the more he wants it. Now this is the thing that I didn't like about Rabi, was the drugs, yeah? Like, honestly, the bloke is a straight soldier. I can't take that away from him. The drugs got the best of him, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Like, he said this to a few boys, you know. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know for a fact that if Rabi was straight, he never would have said these stupid things, yeah? So I'm going to explain this to all you younger generation and to all you young adults out there. When you live this life, it doesn't matter if it's crime, gang life, or whether it's taking drugs every day or drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, mate, there's consequences to all of it. See, Rabi, all I heard was good things about him in the past. He's known as an old school ball runner, yeah? And obviously he is a ball runner. Bro, the more I dropped this bloke, the more he wanted it, you know? So, fuck, there you go. And, like I said, with Rabi, that day, I thought to myself, bro, the boys were right. This guy is, yes, he's a soldier, but he's fried. So much drugs has fried his brain, you know? And the reason why I realized he was fried is because, the little kid that he hit, all right? Obviously she passed away. And Rabi, the idiot, because he's off his face on Ugdrays, he turns around to everyone and he says, I want to get a tattoo. And everyone's like, what tattoo? He says, I want to get a teardrop. Now, for those of you who don't know, teardrop means like you either did 10 years in prison or you murdered someone, you know, that, whatever it is. If you unalive someone, you get a teardrop, right? I'm going to tell you a funny story after this one to end the life, yeah? But he wanted to get a teardrop, and I turned to him and go, hang on a sec, you want to get a teardrop? Okay, for what? And he goes, well, you know how I'm in for Erdeme? Yeah, I want to get it easy. And I said, bro, what's wrong with y'all? And I said, there's a kid. I understand it was an accident, Rabi. Okay, bro, you don't go freaking highlighting your charge on your face, what's cool, because of the status that you think you're gonna have. Okay, bro, what you did is something that I would never forgive. You know, if you did it to my kid, okay, bro, you had the audacity, you know, the nerve to go and get that tatted on you when what you think you're a sick cunt because you unalived the kid, you know. And he goes, yeah, but it's not about that, because it was an accident. It's about my charge. I'm charged for Erdeme. That's why I want to get the teardrop. And I go, bro, this guy is freaking clueless. Like, he's so fried from drugs that he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like, you know, mate, I'm there, like, you know, God bless this kid and their family, like, that, you know, hopefully they don't hear the story that I'm saying, you know, because they're going to be very upset when they hear that Rabi said this. But I just want them to understand, like, Rabi's, he's gone through his life being a drug addict because of the mental health problems he's had in the past. You know, there's a lot that built up to to him being a drug addict. He didn't just one day wake up and say, hey, I want to be a junkie. No, it's a lot of trauma that he's gone through, to end up this way. So this is why I explained thoroughly to all you younger generation out there about gang life, crime life, taking drugs, drinking alcohol and all that. Look, you may think it's cool, but when the consequences come knocking, you're not going to think it's cool anymore, Take Rabi's story into consideration. The bloke is a known soldier for the Lebanese community, like inside prison I'm talking about, yeah? And, he is what everyone says he is. But because he fried his brain so much, like he's not this person that everyone makes out he is. Like he's so fried, he doesn't know what he's saying, He's so fried that he attacks his own people, his own kind, like he belittles them, and then he goes back and he apologizes. He belittles them, he apologizes. He attacks them, he apologizes. He offers them out, he apologizes. This is what happens when you're on Ugdrays. This is why I always tell you guys, like, wow, try to stay away from drugs. Like, trust me. I've never smoked, drank alcohol, took drugs yet. I've had a lot of friends come my way and try to get me on this stuff. But my thing was money. Like, I always wanted to make money. That was it, I didn't have to be high or drunk to have fun. So I don't understand why everyone else did. But hey, each to their own. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to belittle anyone. All I'm trying to say is, remember, the consequences will come knocking. Now, before I end this live, I'm going to tell you a quick story here about this teardrop thing, yeah? That's the story between me and Rabi, and yeah. But this little funny thing that I seen when I was inside prison. So one of the Samoan boys, he had a teardrop tattooed here, yeah? But it was a little big for his face, all right? And I was like, I bumped into him and I was like, Taluzo, is that a teardrop on your eye? And he was like, oh yeah, Uzo. I said, wait, did you commit a murder, mate? He was like, oh, nah, Uzo. I said, did you do 10 years in prison? Like, nah, Uzo. I said, so what'd you get that tattooed on your face for? And he goes to me, oh, Uzo, I'm going to be straight out with you. He goes, I had a dollar sign there. And he goes, but when it got tattooed on my face, it's stuffed up. So I got him to do a teardrop. And then I want to end my life with that funny story because I know he was lying. He went and got that intentionally. Like, he did go get that for a teardrop, yeah? But his excuse to me was he went to go get a dollar sign, and because the dollar sign stuffed up, he told the tattooers to turn it into a teardrop. Like, that's just a funny story to end this live, but I don't know, like, what's the time now? 10:14. You know what? I'm gonna let it go to for a little bit longer. I'll let you guys ask me questions and that because everybody's been asking me to stay on. Let us ask questions, please. I don't want to get too much into telling stories when you ask me questions, so I can just have fun with it. But before I end all this, I'm just gonna send my big love and respects to everyone that was tapping it up. I'm gonna stay on live just to answer a few questions and that, maybe until 10:30 or 11. Depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, thank you to everyone that was tapping it up. Thank you to everyone that's been trying to help me fulfill my goals, my cheap ass goals. And also big love and respects to everyone that was sending gifts through. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And before I end this live, I'm gonna go back to the brother George that's still missing because of the kidnapping yesterday. May God bless you and your family always, and God willing that you get you get home safely. No one has forgotten you. Everyone is still searching. And also to the gang that has got him, like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm not going to go to the cops about anything. We can keep this in-house. I'll get you your money, and all I want is for for young George to be handed over to his family. But like I said, all I've got is $80,000, and I'm more than happy to let you guys have this money. Now, let's go. Let's friggin' kick back, have some fun, and answer some friggin' questions. Yeah, Reynold Glover's story is coming up very soon. Also, can you get me a water from the fridge, please? It took you so long, bro. Lebo Christian Trump. Okay. But so much. Yeah, merch is coming soon. Yeah. Thank you very much, Uzo. Yes, I did see. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yes, I did see Montana's footage. His video that he released. And like I said to everyone that reached out to me, I'm not going to talk about him or Underworld Bill's situation again. Like I said, I told my story that day because I was trying to back up Underworld Bill, because for those who didn't know, he almost lost his life for his people, for the Lebanese people, yeah? And same as Montana, he could have lost his life for the Islanders. He went hard, Bill went hard. You can't win them all. You lose the fight eventually. And like I said to Montana when I went live last week, I explained to him thoroughly who I was and where I was. And he's comes to the terms that he did see two boys that was in the cage were standing there. Yeah, obviously that was me. So obviously I seen what I seen. But as for me and him knowing each other, we don't know each other whatsoever. I've never said I've known him. And all this rubbish that he was saying about I mean, hey, babe, can you tell her to give me a phone? Sorry guys, people that's involved in trying to bring young George home, they're trying to call me. So I'm just gonna get my wife's phone to see what's going on. Hopefully we got some good news. I would use my phone, but my phone is here. Hey. There's a lot of people that's been helping me, a lot of gangs that's been helping me trying to find a peaceful solution so we can get George back. And in the last 2 minutes, I've been having several phone calls come in, and it's from different boys that have been trying to help get him back. So hopefully we got some good news about getting George back. Pause the live. Someone told me to pause live. Why do I have to pause it? Mute your live, Uso. How do I? Bro, I don't even know how to mute it. Low Palmer. Yeah, of course. The live is glitching. Oh, really? Uzo, how do I mute the live? They're telling me to mute. Do you know how to mute the live? Or you don't know? I wouldn't have a clue. I think my wife just got out of the shower. One sec. Mute. Can someone tell me how to mute the live? No glitching anymore? Yeah? All good? It's not glitching now. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, I think my wife just got out of the shower, so I'm just waiting for her to bring the phone. I'm on live. I might as well find out if any good news. Yeah. Oh, sucks. Drinking 2 waters at once. Alright. You got A's woman here? Yeah. Can you call him, please? Yeah, podcast is coming. I'm gonna be releasing more things this week on YouTube, guys. Yo, hey Jay, my man. Uzo, you called me?
Yeah.
Any good news?
Oh, no.
Yo. One sec. Yeah, Uzo.
Yeah, I can see.
Hey, how do I mute the thing?
Whenever you can hear the car.